You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, gift stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a treat for you tonight on NBL Live? It is a battle of not only the commissioners, not only two of the most decorated programs in the NBL, but two of the only undefeated teams left here in the NBL, here in Season 30. It's the Lions and the Steelers head-to-head tonight on NBL Live, Week 10 action. And we, of course, have our NBL Live pregame show brought to you each and every week by our graphic sponsor, Web3KS.com. We talk about them each and every week. They do so many graphics for the entire NBL network, and they've got a great deal. If you or anyone you know needs graphics for an affordable price, hit up Web3KS.com, mention NBL sent you, and they'll give you a 15% discount. They went from affordable to even more affordable, folks. Use Web3KS.com. All business over there will take good care of you. Web3KS.com, the leaders in affordable graphic design. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, Sonny Weaver. Sonny, I am so stoked for this game. This was a game when the NBL Live schedule came out a few short weeks ago. We all circled this bad boy. Week 10, Lions and Steelers. Both teams 8-0. A little banged up on the Pittsburgh Steelers side, but no doubt it's going to be a great battle tonight on NBL Live.
It is going to be a great battle tonight. Like you mentioned, Steelers a little banged up. We're not going to be seeing Big Ben Roethlisberger tonight, and that is unfortunate because he is a stud. We've talked for many seasons now, will this be his last run? We're not going to get many more chances to see him, so I'm disappointed in that. But this one will still be a shootout, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, we'll talk about that Big Ben injury in just a moment, but first, let's talk about these Detroit Lions. Well, of course, if you've never seen Building the Franchise Detroit Lions, you're not going to want to miss that one. That's going to be coming up this weekend. Time still to be determined, so follow us on Twitter at Bomber League, BTF Detroit Lions, hosted by Bomber. Sonny, they've sort of gone to this live format, Hop and Bomber doing Building the Franchise. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten word from Bomber yet if it's going to be live this weekend. I think it is. I know he wants to push for that one. But either way, if you haven't checked out BTF, either Detroit Lions or Jacksonville Jaguars, it's one of our longer running shows here on the NBL Network, and it's really a great way to take a look into these two franchises and get sort of the inner workings of the minds of the owners.
Yeah, and the addition of Hop as his errand boy has been kind of interesting. Now you've got Bomber running the show and bossing Hop around, a division rival. Interesting dynamic there. It's very rare that you'll see a division rival so complimentary of someone who's owned them in this cycle.
Yeah, so again, that'll be coming up this weekend. Follow us on Twitter at Bomber League. That's where it'll be posted when that time is announced. Bomber will post it right there, so you don't want to miss out on that one. Let's look at the players to watch for today's battle between two teams, 8-0, looking to stay undefeated. First for the Detroit Lions, it is the guy who Bomber refers to frequently as Slay Day, Darius Slay Jr., and he is having yet another good season for a guy who's getting up there in age, Sonny. 35 tackles, 2 picks, 6 passes deflected. He's also forced 2 fumbles, and that's sort of the part of the game that people don't think about with Darius Slay. He has been one of the top cover corners in the NBL for so long, but this is a guy getting up there in age. We've seen the Lions really use him in run support, bring him on some blitzes, and bring him into the backfield, and he's showing off that he's got a little bit of hit power left in that tank.
Yeah, Darius Slay actually is still having a pretty good year for getting up there in age. Look for him tonight to follow Martavius Bryant around. He is still their #1 cornerback. Obviously, they do have, a couple other pieces that we'll get to here in a second in that defense. But Darius Slay is going to be the guy they're going to look to really try to shut down Martavius Bryant.
On the flip side, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it is Ryan Shazier, the emotional leader of this defense, and he's putting up numbers that are really, really good. As Hopology just subscribing for his segment, appreciate it, Hop. Shazier, 46 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 picks, and 2 forced fumbles. Ryan Shazier, we've seen Shazier go out for extended period of times when he's gotten hurt, and this defense does take a step back without him. They play as a unit, but without their leader in the middle, this is a totally different team, and Ryan Shazier is, I think, the most important person on that defense.
Well, he's such an athletic linebacker. He can play coverage. He can get sideline to sideline. His pursuit angles are second to none. I don't think the Lions are going to be able to run tonight. They struggle historically to run the ball in general. However, Shazier, as far as a linebacker dropping into coverage. He's going to be huge tonight because they work those combos across the middle of the field, and he's going to be there to try to take those away.
Okay, and so now let's talk about the news that everybody is talking about. Is Claudia Rose just subscribing over on YouTube? Appreciate it. Anybody who's over on YouTube, be sure to come on over to the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MBL Network. The chat is popping over here. Everybody's talking here. That's the chat we'll be watching tonight, but we appreciate everybody both on YouTube and Twitch. The injury everyone's talking about, no Big Ben. Zach Lodish going to be starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the rookie out of Delaware. He played last week, Sonny, and performed pretty well. 2 touchdowns and an interception led them to victory, but it's a different animal. Yes, he gets the friendly confines of being at home, so that should help him. But you're going up against a Detroit Lions team that is intimidating just from the fact of who they are. Does the fact that the Lions' defense is not necessarily their strength give Lodish any sort of help, or is it just going to be this guy's got to buckle in and really hold on for dear life?
The Lions' defense isn't bad. It's got its moments. They're pretty good at picking off guys, and I think they'll bait them a little bit. Big Ben goes down with the shoulder tear, out 5 weeks, and so Lodish comes in. He has a decent week last week, but this is the big stage. This is NBL Live. We've talked about it. We talked about it actually the other day when we saw Texans and Colts. Are you going to melt under the lights? I'm not so sure Lodish is going to be able to do it tonight.
I got to give a big shout out to the _1 fan of all OSU, Kean Rose, the little son of Unisolated. I got to say hi because apparently he is obsessed with me. I don't know why. Shadow, you gotta teach your kid better things because that's not something you want to be obsessed with going in the long run. But we're about ready to send this out to the game. The battle of the commissioners, the battle of the undefeated teams. Sonny, right now, going into it, you'd think it very evenly matched. The injury to Big Ben, does that sway you either way? Who do you like coming out on top and staying undefeated in this battle tonight?
If Big Ben was in this game, I think I'd feel comfortable taking the Steelers. But, Lions even going on the road, coming to Pittsburgh, I think that offense is going to be tough to keep up with. It's going to turn into a shootout. I'm not sure the Steelers are going to be able to keep pace. But one thing to watch, if the Pittsburgh Steelers can establish a run game, they can stay in this. Le'Veon Bell is going to be a big factor here. I don't know if that happens. I'm going to go ahead and take the Detroit Lions 31-17.
Should be a great game tonight, folks. Get your predictions in the chat. We'll watch those throughout the first quarter. But, folks, we're setting it out to the game, and we have a good one. Coming up next, it's the battle of the 2 commissioners head-to-head. 16-0 between them. Only one will stay undefeated. It's the Detroit Lions and the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's coming up right now here on NBL Live.
My name is Rex Dixon.
Greg Stein.
Clint from EA Sports.
You're watching NBL.
You're watching the NBL Network.
And you're watching the MBLN Network.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's been dropping back to pass here on 4th down. He's looking, Tebow in the middle. He has a man, it's Brandon Cooks, who catches and makes a madness!
Oh, that's
Woodard is coming back. He's got open over the middle.
Wow.
That big playmaker ability as he finds him again.
Into the end zone. Another touchdown. And we are live for one of our better early season, I don't know if it's early season, mid-season I guess, NBL Live battles, Week 10 action, and is the 8-0 Detroit Lions taking on the 8-0 Pittsburgh Steelers, potentially an NBL Season 30 Super Bowl preview. I'm OSU, I'm hanging with my man Sonny Weaver. Sonny, these two teams have been two of the best in the NBL, a weird season here in the NBL because of how top-heavy it's been, but even in this top-heavy league, these two teams have just really risen to the top.
And we're going to find out tonight who reigns supreme, at least until the playoffs. The last remaining undefeated should come out of this game. And we're going to see who that's going to be here real quick.
Yeah, it's going to be a great battle here in Pittsburgh. Again, if you missed our pregame show, no Ben Roethlisberger. Instead, it's going to be Zach Lotish starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Roethlisberger out with an injury, so we'll see how much that affects the Pittsburgh Steelers and their offense, which has been high-powered. And we get to see the Pittsburgh Steelers offense come out on offense first. Zach Lotish, rookie out of Delaware. Joe Flacco coming out of Delaware. Will we see a Joe Flacco-like performance today for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Sonny?
Well, it depends what kind of Joe Flacco you're talking about. You're talking about Super Bowl Joe Flacco or Joe Flacco 99% of the time?
Yes.
Well, then that's not going to be too good.
The elbow. Ruh-roh. 1st and 10. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, Lotish under center. He's got Le'Veon Bell at the top of that I formation. Look for Bell to be a big key today with no Ben Roethlisberger, and it's going to be Bell taking the carry over the left side, and he's going to fight forward up near the 29-yard line, give him 4 yards on the play. You got to say, Sonny, we were talking before we went on the air, Bell's got to be a huge key for the Steelers today. It's just a matter of whether they give him the ball enough to make up for the fact that there's no Ben Roethlisberger.
And Bell's been having a great year, and he's having the kind of year of somebody that's suited to try to carry this team right here, and we'll have to see how that goes going forward.
We're already doing some switching. Javier Howard, Antonio Brown. I don't know what's going on here, but something Lip didn't like in that one. But it's now 2nd and 6. You know, like, gotta love Sonny, one play in, and we already got to adjust the rosters.
It is interesting that Jose Coates was in, not Lotish.
Oh, Jose, can you see? Shotgun formation, and Bell's going to get his 2nd carry of the game right up the middle to the 31-yard line. Give him 2 yards on the play. It's going to cut it down to a 3rd and 4, and this is where Pittsburgh wants to be all day with Zach Lotish, Sonny, because with a 3rd and 4, you can still very plausibly hand the ball off to Le'Veon Bell, or you could go with a very safe throw.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's one of those teams that actually likes to run the ball in these 3rd and medium ranges. It catches people off guard, so keep an eye on that throughout this game.
Yeah, 3rd and 4 now for the Steelers. Howard coming in motion. It's going to be Lotish driving back to pass on 3rd down. He's going to find Bell in the flat, but good coverage there by the Detroit Lions, bringing him down short of the line to gain, and it's going to be a 3 and out for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Some may say very scary because now you get into the Detroit Lions is so good at getting down the field and scoring, but Sonny, I look at that play and I say, you got your rookie to throw the ball on 3rd down. It was a safe throw. It was no worries whatsoever, and really can take a lot of pressure off of Zach Lotish not having to convert a 3rd down.
It was, and you put the ball in Le'Veon Bell's hand in the open field, and you hope he makes a man miss, but that was just good form tackle there by the Detroit secondary against Le'Veon Bell. And not too bad in the first drive, only because no turnovers, I think, in this game is going to be key here for Pittsburgh.
Well, now we get to see the Detroit Lions offense come out, and boy, you get to see one of the best players here in the NBL, not just at the quarterback position in Matthew Stafford, but in Harvey Beckham, HB 1899, as he is called in the NBL, because he is so fast, 99 speed. He'll be split out wide left, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for Matt Stafford. And on 1st and 10, it's of course going to be Stafford dropping back to pass, and there's some confusion up front, and who else but the man with the greatest name in the NBL, old Churfy Gooch with the sack, 6 yards on the play, going to bring up a 2nd and long.
Perfect Gooch, and like you said, one of the best names we've ever had in NBL, coming right up the middle, and that is going to be a big part of Pittsburgh's game plan tonight. They've got to get to Matthew Stafford early and often here, and they've now put him in a good 2nd and long.
And now another 2 tight end set, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for Matthew Stafford. Play action pass, George coming right up the middle, and back-to-back sacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line. This one for 9 yards on the play. Troubles up front for the Lions offensive line, trying to keep Matt Stafford clean, and Pittsburgh showing some life on the defensive side of the ball.
And there is some confusion in the middle of that Detroit line. It doesn't seem like they know who they're supposed to be blocking on these plays, back-to-back sacks, and now you're in a good down and distance here for Pittsburgh.
Play action pass, rush coming up the middle once again, this time picked up by the safety blocker, but it's a deep pass, and who else but HB18, Harvey Beckham, with a deep catch down the right sideline. 42 yards, came all the way over from the left side of the field, and Pittsburgh let the big man go. He is so fast, Sonny, and if you give Stafford enough time, he's going to find his way open.
And that's unfortunate. You've got a 3rd and 25. All you have to do is get to the quarterback there in some reasonable amount of time. They couldn't do it. Stafford finds HB 18. He is gone.
Yeah, 42 yards on that play. Now 1st and 10, Stafford dropping back. He looks underneath. It is complete. Shaking off the tacklers left and right. He's going to fall forward to the 45-yard line. Give him 9 yards on the play. 2 early sacks, but 2 nice passes there. That one to the tight end, Cooper. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 1.
And Matt Stafford working the middle of the field the last couple of throws. He tried to get downfield earlier in the game wasn't quite there, and that led to the second sack. Let's see if he tries to take another shot deep.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 4 Stafford under center. He's got Wilson in the backfield here on 2nd and 1 as they're already past midfield. 2 early sacks by the Steelers defense, and you'd think they'd be in good shape, but after a big conversion, now this is where the Lions get dangerous. As look at Wilson go right up the middle. The blocking there, very good. Wilson, patient run, 8 yards on the play to convert the first down up to the 37-yard line. How deflating is it for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Sonny? It seemed to have the Detroit Lions pinned back. They had 2 great plays in a row, and now 3 plays later, you're sort of feeling like Detroit has all the momentum.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're going to get back-to-back sacks like that again, so unfortunately, I think you lost a little bit there as far as momentum goes.
And now 1st and 10 for the Detroit Lions. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the right, 1 over to the left side. Wilson in at halfback, 1 tight end on the right side of that formation for Matt Stafford, changing up the play as he surveys this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. 2:21 to go. He drops back on 1st and 10 and looks to the out route for Harvey Beckham, and it is a complete pass up to the 20-yard line and another first down. You can't play soft coverage on HB18 because he will beat you all day long, Sonny Weaver.
And that was just good play call there against that defense. The linebacker had to try to get all the way out to the sideline. Wasn't happening. He had a big window to throw there.
And now Detroit just inside the 20-yard line. They're in the red zone, 1st and 10. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the right, 1 over to the left side. He's got Tavon Wilson to his left. Stafford in the shotgun. Man comes in motion. He can drop back to pass. Looks like they're setting up a little slip screen, and the blocking is out there. But great pursuit, bringing down Wilson for just a short gain of 1. Going to bring up a 2nd and 9. It looks set up, but a real nice recognition by the secondary of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sims comes all the way over and brings him down for only a 1-yard gain.
And that's Ryan Shazier's partner in crime, the second middle linebacker, Sims. They drafted him 2 years ago. Has a lot of the traits of Ryan Shazier. Maybe not as good in coverage, but he's another athletic linebacker here on this defense.
2nd and 9, shotgun formation for Stafford once again. Man coming in motion all the way over to the left side. Looks like they're setting up that little bubble screen. Oh, and Sims... It looked like he second-guessed himself for a second. Sims had that read the entire time. Just a little hesitation. He's still able to bring him down for a 4-yard loss. But, Sonny, if he actually just goes with his instincts and jumps that route, Sims is still running to the end zone.
It's all about angles, and right there, Sims, instead of cutting underneath the wide receiver, goes around him, and that's the difference between a pick 6 and just a tackle for loss.
Now another 3rd and long for Matt Stafford and the Lions as Stafford drops back to pass here on 3rd and 13. He's looking right down the seam, and who else but Kalen Cooper? Touchdown, Lions! The high pass over the top. That Tampa 2 cannot stop. The big, tall tight end up the seam. Touchdown, Lions, and a couple times, Sonny, on that drive, it looked like the Steelers had the Lions stopped, and the Lions do what they do best. They find a way to get to the end zone. 9 plays, 81 yards, and an early 7-0 lead here on the road.
And right there, there's nothing Pittsburgh can do. They're in a cover 2. The tight end is just streaking up the field. Matthew Stafford puts a touch on the ball, puts it high enough that only his tight end can get to it. Tight end takes a big hit, though, coming down, but he hangs on to it, and that's a touchdown. Great drive there by Detroit after a really scary start.
Yeah, now we get to see what the Pittsburgh Steelers offense has in the tank. A very conservative first drive, 2 runs from Le'Veon Bell, and then a quick pass to the flat. But against this Detroit Lions team, the Steelers are going to have to run the ball either more effectively, or the young quarterback Lotus is going to have to find a way to get something going through the air as it's 2 tight end set 4. Zach Lotus is going to toss this out to Le'Veon Bell, toss play to the outside. That's exactly what you don't want to do on first down. And even worse, Le'Veon Bell stays down, 5-yard loss, and he is clutching, it looks like the arm there. That's a huge loss. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be out for any extended period of time.
Well, now you're in trouble. Now it's going to be up to Lotus. Martavius Bryant needs to start showing up real quick if they want to stay in this game.
3 wide receivers over to the right side, 1 to the left, and Lotus drops back to pass on 2nd and 15. Looks right down the seam, and boy, that one, he looked real comfortable on that throw as he finds Chauncey Arnold right up the seam to the 48-yard line. A real easy read, and but not an easy throw. That's a tight window to fit that into, and Lotus put it on the money.
Yeah, Arnold just kind of had separation there from his cornerback following him. Great throw there by Lotus in the pocket, making the play.
Once again, same formation bunch, 3 to the right, 1 over to the left side, and Lotus going to be dropping back to pass once again, looking, and he's taking a shot over the top to Bryant, and it's jumped and picked off. Not enough air under that one, and it's a turnover, and he's still running. I don't think anybody's going to catch him. Just what you didn't want to see if you're a Steelers fan. I don't think he needed to do that that spin move. Sherman, you don't have it. Le'Veon Bell also down with that ruptured disc. He will not be returning. I don't know why Sherman went for the spin move. He should have been gone, but the Lions have it on the 7-yard line, and Pittsburgh gets word that Le'Veon Bell will be out for some extended period of time. It's gone from bad to worse in the Steel City.
Yeah, unfortunately right there, Lodish missed the open receiver in the flat. The check and release by the halfback there was open, and Say makes a bad throw downfield.
Now the Lions only have to go 7 yards to put themselves up by 2 scores. I formation, and Matt Stafford's going to hand this one off and going to lose 3 yards on the play as Wilson, I think that's Wilson, he stays down, clutching that shoulder. Not a real good run, and although for the Detroit Lions, Sonny, that injury may not be as hurtful as it was losing Le'Veon Bell.
Maybe just not quite the same. 2nd
and goal, handoff over the left side as Pittsburgh Steelers rush defense is playing well. That one was Wilson. I don't know who that was on the first drive, but Wilson loses 2 yards, and so they've only gone backwards. And you start wondering why I think he's like 45, 50-year-old Richard Sherman went for the spin move down at the 5-yard line.
Showboating, trying to put a move on. Who knows?
That does sound like Richard Sherman. 3rd and goal now for the Detroit Lions, and they're going to empty it out. Matt Stafford, 5 wide receivers.
We know what this play is.
But the end of the quarter comes 7-0 Detroit on top. Sonny, boy, the crowd is still hopping here in Pittsburgh, but there's got to be a lack of optimism right now with Le'Veon Bell out and that throw. I mean, Lodish had Bryant over the top and just didn't even put remotely enough air under that.
No, not at all, but fortunately here for Pittsburgh, they got a big chance to get a stop here. Hold them to 3 and stay in this game.
And Stafford drops back to pass rush coming along the outside. They set up that screen over to the right side. It's going to have to be an open field tackle, and Davis, a great tackle on Cooper. As we find out, Walker, the other halfback, shoulder strain, will not return to the game, but Cooper with the catch there. They do get the stop, finally able to get off the field on 3rd down, as Unisolated in the chat saying, what was Bell's injury? A ruptured disc, and haven't seen too many of those, Sonny, but just from the sound of it and from knowing what a ruptured disc is, Bell's going to be out for an extended period of time.
Yeah, that could be a injury that carries into the playoffs. That's a big loss for Pittsburgh, and now you're talking about an offense without their Pro Bowl quarterback, but now without their All-Pro halfback. You're starting to wonder where they're going to get this thing done.
Pro Bowl and probably Hall of Fame quarterback, and then Le'Veon Bell, who's one of the top 5 running backs in the game. It's going to be up to Zach Lodish to settle down and make a throw. As Drago in the chat saying ruptured disc, 7 weeks most likely. If it is those 7 weeks, that'll take you all the way through the end of the regular season. Pittsburgh said they're at 8-0 right now, but they're in trouble. 10-0. They're down here at home, and it's Lodish in the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. He drops back to pass. Blitz coming over the left side. He gets rid of it, though, and finds Howard underneath, and Howard winding and weaving his way through the Detroit Lions defense. Nice throw there by Lodish, finding the open receiver underneath, and letting Javier Howard do what Javier Howard does, Sonny, get the ball in his hands and turn it upfield.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded seeing maybe a little hurry up there by Pittsburgh. They need to get some momentum going. I felt like, that was a big gain. They probably could have hurried that up, tried to take a shot downfield.
Shotgun formation for Lodish once again. 3 wide receivers. James standing up in the slot, 1st and 10. Only a 4-man rush. This offensive line just absolutely blew up somebody in the middle, and James could not make the catch in the middle of the field. It's an incomplete pass. This Steelers offensive line is very good, Sonny. Without Le'Veon Bell, how much faith do you have in the rushing attack, or is this going to have to be Lodish throwing the ball 35 times?
Well, I've not got any faith in either rushing attack. I think I just saw the stat, 4 yards total rushing between the 2 teams right now. So this thing is going to be determined through the air. Now, notice Lodish there rolling left, throwing right. I feel like owner Lip has criticized my Tennessee Titans many times for that. So he maybe want to take his own advice here, not do that.
2nd and 10, and Lodish goes down. A big sack from Ferguson. You saw exactly where he was looking. It was user coverage on the slot receiver, that little slot cross, and the coverage was great underneath. And unfortunately for Lodish, when you lock in on one guy and it's covered, now you've got to face a 3rd and 20, and Zach Lodish is no Matthew Stafford. Let's see what they decide to do here with no Bell, but needing points. As Lodish in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers, over to the right side, 1 over to the left. Blackburn at halfback has yet to get a carry since Bell went out. Only a 3-man rush from the Lions as Lodish steps up. He's going to take a shot over the right side, looking for the big tight end Jesse James, who cannot come up with the catch. That's another drop by James. That one a much tougher throw, but when you're looking at Jesse James, Sonny, he is usually a sure-handed tight end, and he's going to have to be better than he has been early in this game.
Yeah, you got to be able to hang on a possession down to the ground, right, Jesse?
I see what you did there.
See what I did there?
I see what you did. See that change that rule?
Just check. I did. I
Good
did. NBL is going to change that rule too, right?
I don't know how much we have in affecting the coding in the game, but
I thought we controlled it.
As contrary to what people say on Twitter, we have no influence on what happens in the Madden game. Like that, we don't have any. Otherwise, you can guarantee the Raiders would be much better. As Matt Stafford comes out, shotgun formation, 4 wide receivers, 3 over to the left side, 1 over to the right. Wilson in at halfback to the left of Matt Stafford in the shotgun as he drops back to pass on 1st and 10. And he looks over to the right side and completes it to who else but Harvey Beckham, and he's already passed midfield up to the 48-yard line. 8 of 8, 111 yards and a touchdown, and it is bad news Bears time for the Pittsburgh Steelers, down 10-0, and with Matt Stafford playing as well as he is.
Yeah, that was an interesting throw because it almost looked like he overthrew Montgomery.
I thought he was looking for the drag initially.
I'm not sure that was where that was supposed to go, but nonetheless, everything seems to be clicking right now for Detroit.
Yeah, they're already at 99 total yards, 3:58 to go here in the first half. And it's going to be Wilson getting the carry, trying to get on the outside. Boy, Sonny, we've watched these Lions teams. They've never really had a rushing attack, and it hasn't hurt them. But there are times you do wonder if Detroit invested in any sort of running back because they haven't really signed anyone that good. They try to go with pretty much the easiest player available. You wonder what this team would be with an actual running back.
Yeah, the running back has never been a focus in Detroit. They've tried to sign relatively high-priced ones in the past. It never works out. So in this offense, it's easier just to pay someone cheap to hold on to the ball occasionally and let Matthew Stafford really throw you into a short passing attack.
Yeah, I'm not sure even if Detroit had a guy like Le'Veon Bell, they'd still probably only run the ball 4 times a game. I mean, I don't think we're looking at a team that even if they had a great running back, they would run it a lot because they trust Matt Stafford, they trust this passing attack. And Pittsburgh, this is a huge play here, trying to get off the field on 3rd down. Soft coverage on the outside for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Play action pass. Dupree got faked out by that play action, but he makes a play anyways. A diving tackle on Matt Stafford, and it's going to be 4th down and a huge stop from the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, forcing a punt from the Detroit Lions.
A really risky play there by Dupree. He dove low on Matthew Stafford. I thought that could have been flagged there on the play. The rest determined not a foul, and so now Pittsburgh gets off the field.
Arnold back to take the punt at the 3-yard line. He's going to be up to the 10-yard line, and he's not even going to get there. He's going to stop right there. 9-yard line, and Sonny, 2:34 to go. This feels like a real turning point in the game. If the Steelers can get down and score, it's huge, but the big one is making sure Zach Lotus doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, but at this point, you gotta take some chances because if not, you're not getting back into this thing.
1st and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's Lotus under center, Blackburn in at halfback. He's going to get his first carry of the game since Le'Veon Bell went out, and Blackburn's able to get 4 yards on the play up to the 13-yard line. Going to bring up a 2nd and 6.
And good call there by Lotus checking into a run. He saw that weak box, so you're going to get a lot of that 3-3-5 here from this Detroit offense or defense, which means you can run on it.
Rashard Blackburn, the 2nd-year player out of Michigan State, he's going to get his 2nd carry on the counter, and that one looked like a real bad misread because that's a counter play that needs to go outside. He tried to stay inside. There was no room whatsoever, and now a huge 3rd and 7. Pittsburgh, this should go down to a 2-minute warning, and it will, but Pittsburgh's got to be careful because if they don't convert this one, Detroit gets the ball back, and under 2 minutes to go with 3 timeouts, that's what we call Matt Stafford time.
Yeah, right there was ball carrier vision of about 10.
3rd and 7 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to empty it out. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end down on the right side of that line. It's going to be Lotus dropping back to pass. 4-man rush from the Detroit Lions. Lotus moving around, looking left, and he had an internet.
He got walloped.
He
got walloped.
Wackadoodle, I think is the word. That is the technical term. And the Steelers are going to be forced to punt this one away. Big hit. Lotus could not find anybody downfield.
He was trying to wait for the tight end to come open. He's got to see Ferguson now coming off that edge. Basically, he went lower in the pocket than his tackles, and that was a problem there.
The ball's out, though. Fumble, the punt return. It's picked up by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think that was actually just a brilliant play by Lotus. He knew by taking that big sack, your special teams would come up with a big play, and they've got great field position on the 49-yard line.
Well, obviously, they're playing for the fumble on special teams. It's
bold move.
Classic coaching right there.
Yeah, that's a bold move there, but it was really a brilliant move. It looks like they're setting up a little wide receiver screen. Lotus, 3 of 7, 54 yards. Tough game right now for the young player out of Delaware, the rookie. That's a play that is a bread and butter Ben Roethlisberger play, and Lotus could not find out how to get the ball away.
Not at all. That was just a bad throw there for Lotus.
Now a 2nd and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Jesse James, the tight end, on the right side of that formation as well, down on the line. Minute 31 and counting as, not Roethlisberger, Zach Lotus dropping back to pass. He has a man. It is Martavis Bryant. It wasn't the most accurate throw you've seen all day, but Lotus found a way to finally get the ball to Martavis Bryant. Gets up to the 29-yard line. A huge completion to maybe settle down the rookie out of Delaware.
Well, I'm not sure he's so settled down. He's still moving a lot in that pocket. I think he's got happy feet right now. He's getting hit a lot right now, and he's not real comfortable in there.
1st and 10, and look at this. 5 wide receivers. They're really opening up for Lotus. Great blocking. Looks over the middle. He finds Jesse James up to the 5-yard line. A huge block in the middle. Dropping back in that cover 3 zone from that A-gap defense, left the tight end all sorts of open in the middle of the field, and Lotus puts it on the money on 1st and goal. This is usually where we'd see Le'Veon Bell, Sonny, but no Bell. They're still going to try to find a way to get into the end zone.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to try to get in the end zone. That would be a very good strategy here for them.
They played for the fumble Rooski. Who knows? Maybe they're just going to try to throw an interception and get the safety. You never know. As the handoff to Blackburn cuts it up the middle. Oh, look at Rashard Blackburn fight through the tackle and into the end zone. Showing off the strength and the balance to stay on his feet. And Pittsburgh gets a huge touchdown off the fumble on the punt return. Zach Lotus, 2 big completions. And Rashard Blackburn finishes one off to close it to a 3-point game.
And what a turn of events here for Pittsburgh. It seemed like they were just getting dominated in this game. Even though they were only down by 10, they were punting that ball back, and a fumble recovery on that punt turns the tide of this game. Now, if they can get a stop here, no points on the board, you've got to feel good about Pittsburgh's chances.
Wow, 10-7 your score. 32 seconds left, 3 timeouts, Sonny. Not out of the realm of possibility that Detroit puts points on the board still before the end of the half.
No, not at all. Matthew Stafford's a dangerous man. He's got 3 timeouts. This is not any time to rest.
After this Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line has played very well early as the handoff, a lot of room over the left side. Nice tackle by Brandstetter to come up and make the play at the 41-yard line. The Steelers defensive line, not a unit we talked about a whole lot, Sonny. We talked about Ryan Shazier, but they've got 3 sacks on the day on Matt Stafford, really playing well up front. Let's see what they can do here on 1st and 10. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Beckham to the left, Montgomery to the right. Ball's on the 41-yard line, 2 timeouts remaining for the Lions, and Stafford dropping back to pass. He's going to look to the corner route on the left side. HB18 is so hard to guard. You can't play man coverage. You got to find a way to stop Harvey Beckham, his 4th catch, and the Lions are probably about 5 yards away from being able to convert a long field goal.
And exactly, they're getting close to scoring position here. Pittsburgh's got to get some pressure here. Look for an underneath route to HB18 to try to get this extra yardage. And
big play there by Harvey Beckham to get out of bounds and stop the clock. Now they're on the 40-yard line. 21 seconds in, counting. Went for the sack and missed. Dupree going for that diving sack once again. Stafford going to try to throw. He dives forward, doesn't slide, goes for the dive, doesn't get out of bounds. Almost disaster on multiple levels, but it ends up only a 7-yard gain. Going to bring up a 2nd and 3 as Detroit uses its 2nd timeout.
That was a very dangerous dive there. Not sure it was the way to go there.
Now 15 seconds to go. 1 timeout remaining for Detroit. And they're on the 33-yard line. It'll be a 50-yard field goal from this spot on the left hash mark. But you know Detroit's thinking 6, and they have the guy to do it in Matt Stafford. He's in the shotgun formation. Wilson to his right, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for the Lions. And Stafford drops back, quick 3-step drop. Nobody open, still dropping this offensive line, holding off the defensive line of the Steelers. And he's going to chuck this down the field, looking for Cooper, who catches it inbounds, but doesn't get out of bounds. It's last time out taken by Detroit. Now you've got to think they have to kick the field goal here with 5 seconds remaining. A nice play by Cooper, the playmaker down the field, almost picked off, but Jawara Forney only able to bring him down, but keeps him inbounds, Sonny, and forces Detroit to use that last time out.
Yeah, that's...
they're going for it.
Nice.
That's what the Lions do. They are nothing but aggressive. 1st and goal, 5 seconds to go. You got to think a quick throw into the end zone. As Stafford drops back to pass on 1st and goal, looks to the back of the end zone and sails that one. 1 second remaining. He was looking for Cooper in the back of the end zone, and now you have to think Detroit's kicking the field goal. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, they. Sonny, what you got going? What's going on over there? What you doing?
You watch some of this stuff and you just kind of question how. Sometimes when you're Detroit, you just get away with anything.
Yeah, that one sailed over the head, went for the high pass. Not only was it well over the head, but managed to go out of bounds and stop the clock at 1 second.
That clock just seemed to hang there for the longest second ever, didn't it?
We have seen some long 1 second plays as Detroit up on top 13-7, and we appreciate each and every one of you tuning into NBL Live broadcast number 194 here on the NBL Network. I'm always you. I'm hanging out with my man Sonny Weaver. Week 10 action, and folks, hit that subscribe button. We certainly appreciate everybody who supports the NBL Network through the subscriptions here on Twitch. All of our money that we get through those subscriptions are going back into giveaways, and we have a ton planned during the playoffs. You have to be a subscriber to win, though. We've already given out a bunch of custom controllers. More of those coming. We got merchandise coming in by the day. So again, hit that subscribe button to support the NBL Network, and of course, be one of the people that can win in our big NBL Network giveaways as Tavon Wilson over the left side up to the 48-yard line. A rare, real nice rushing play from the Detroit Lions, Sonny Weaver.
Yeah, that was impressive to see.
But we appreciate everybody on YouTube and on Twitch, twitch.tv/NBL Network. Over on YouTube, youtube.com/Madden Bomber League. That's where we have all of our archives of our videos. These NBL Live games go up there after the broadcast, so you don't want to miss out on any of those. So be sure to check out both the YouTube and the Twitch, folks. We appreciate everybody supporting the NBL Network. 1st and 10, blitz coming. Matt Stafford throws it to the right side. Montgomery with the juke move, and he's to the house. Touchdown, Lions. It didn't take very long. It wasn't HB18, Sonny. It was Montgomery on the right side. A little juke move in man coverage, and nobody over the top to stop him, and the Lions go back on top by 2 scores.
Well, you've got Pittsburgh sending the house pressure in Matthew Stafford's face, knows he's going to get hit, stands in the pocket, delivers out to the edge. Montgomery making a great play there. And what a throw by Matthew Stafford.
In the face of pressure, Matt Stafford, one of the best. A quick throw to the outside. Oh, it took 2 plays, 23 seconds, and the Lions back on top by 13. Now it's going to be in the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers and their young quarterback out of Delaware, the rookie, Zach Lodish, trying to really make a name for himself here in Pittsburgh. He's going to be at the helm for a couple games while Ben Roethlisberger nurses an injury. Nice spin move there. But he's going to get up to the 24-yard line. Now the Steelers' offense comes back out, Sonny. It was slow going early. The interception, a bad throw by Lodish, but that last drive after the fumble recovery seemed like Lodish settled down and really stepped up in the pocket and made some nice throws.
Yeah, now it's time for Lodish to really step up because you've got to get a touchdown this drive to keep pace with this team.
2 tight ends. It's going to be hand off to Blackburn over the left side, who is continuing to just have really nice balance up the middle. The holes aren't that big, but Blackburn is fighting through some contact. He was able to get 9 yards on the play. It's going to cut it to a 2nd and 1.
Yeah, not a lot of holes when you run into the back of your own guy. His vision has been questionable. I know.
I avoided the joke. I avoided it, man. Keep it moving. We're
PG.
We're just going on. The kids are here. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for Zach Lodish. Blackburn in at halfback on 2nd and 1, and he drops back to pass on 2nd down. Looking for those skinny posts. Oh, and he's taking a deep shot to Javier Howard, who makes the catch in front of the safety. Oh, he was caught ball watching the safety back there. Takes a little too much time watching that ball float up in the air, and Javier Howard undercuts him with a huge catch.
And the safety there for Detroit looked like he was fielding a punt. He just kind of settled underneath it, thinking it was going to drop in his lap. Howard undercuts him, and great play there by Howard.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Once again, Howard coming in motion from the right side. It's going to be Lodish dropping back to pass. He finds Howard underneath. That one's got to be on the money, though. That's the throw that Lodish has to find a way to put right in his hands, because if you're inaccurate on those plays, Howard is so fast, you have to get him running. If he has to make diving catches like that one, which he wasn't even able to make, you're really in trouble.
Yeah, Javier Howard bailing him out at this point.
Yeah, 2 tight ends. 2 in the backfield with Zach Lodish. 3 wide receivers out there as Lodish drops back to pass on 2nd and 10. He'll toss this to the flat to Rashad Blackburn, who fights through a tackle to the 23-yard line. Give him 5 yards on the play. Now huge 3rd and 5 for Pittsburgh. A field goal would be okay. Would cut it to that 2-score deficit of a field goal and a touchdown. But I think if you're Pittsburgh and if you're anybody watching out there, you've got to think Pittsburgh needs 7 on this drive.
7 for sure. Yeah, you can say a field goal may be okay, but I don't think it's okay.
And now 3rd and 5 for the Steelers. Lodish in the shotgun. He's going to empty out the backfield. 4 wide receivers out there, 1 tight end on the right side of the formation. Watch for Blackburn on the left side. 3rd and 5. Lodish dropping back, only a 3-man rush. Looks to the right side for Arnold, who gets his feet in bounds. A huge catch to the 3-yard line, and a nice throw by Lodish away from the defender. A beautiful play to convert a huge 3rd and 5.
And it's about putting the ball away from the defender right there. You see him put it where only his guy can get to it. Great play there by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Now a 1st and goal for the Steelers, 3 yards out, needing to get in the end zone. Pressure showing up the middle by the Detroit Lions. Blackbird at halfback. Howard coming in motion, and he's going to get the handoff on the jet sweep. You know it's coming, Sonny. It's a Pittsburgh Steelers staple, and yet it is so hard to stop. Howard into the end zone, and Pittsburgh responds to a touchdown from the Detroit Lions.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Pittsburgh Steelers staple? I think you mean Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans Xerox copy, absolutely.
I think we have more touchdowns with it this year.
Hey, I'm not saying you're not better with it. I'm saying it's a staple of the Pittsburgh. Just because like somebody made a pizza better doesn't mean that they invented the pizza. Thank you. That's all I'm looking for. Well, we're sitting here in the 3rd quarter. Let's take a moment. A new segment here on NBL Live as the Lions come out on offense. We're going to take a look around the NBL and give you some news and notes and recap some of the scores here from Week 10 in the Madden Bomber League. It's a play action pass. That PAFK quick to the outside is complete to Montgomery up to the 43-yard line for a 1st down. Montgomery really showing out today for the Detroit Lions. Indianapolis 31-14 over the San Francisco 49ers. Sonny, the San Francisco 49ers, one of the surprise teams last year over in the NFC West, faded down the stretch. They're having a lot of trouble at the beginning of the season, down to 2-7. Arsenio Sapp looks like a shell of what he was last season.
And that's surprising. I thought they were on the come up, and now it seems that all of that momentum's gone to the LA Rams.
Yeah, pass to the flat is complete. Stafford 14-15 for 2 touchdowns in this game. Minnesota Vikings dominating 41-20 win over the Chicago Bears. Jack Gerber continues being Jack Gerber and doing what he does. 20 for 33, 24 and 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook, $178 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. The New York Giants 22-17 over the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys continue being a tough out in the NFC East, but the Giants moving to 9-0. Sonny, this Giants team we talked about on Highly Debatable, they are looking like a team primed to repeat as Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, and I'm happy to say I have them on my Highly Debatable stock market team.
A quick throw in the slot. It is incomplete. Nice hit made by Artie Burns back there. Going to bring up a huge 3rd and 4 now for the Lions. Continue to go around the NBL. The Atlanta Falcons, a team struggled last year. They're at 8-1. They moved to 8-1 with a win 27-17 over the Green Bay Packers. Brody Denton 13-17, 271, a touchdown and a pick. Aaron Rodgers threw for 2, but this Green Bay Packers team sitting at 2-7. They are struggling this year. A tough schedule for them, and Rodgers just hasn't been able to find a rhythm.
No, not at all, and you think it's about time for that experiment to end out there.
As Matt Stafford drawn back on 3rd and 4, looks deep over the middle. It's picked off by Sims, and the Pittsburgh Steelers still in this ballgame. Their defense making a huge play. Sonny, that was a really bad read by Matt Stafford. We don't see that too often, but that was not open, and Sims, a huge interception. Pittsburgh an opportunity to take the lead on this drive.
Well, you had cover 2. You had high-low concept. The linebacker actually went over top, and the drag underneath was wide open. Matthew Stafford not paying attention to that, and that is a problem.
1st and 10 for the Steelers. Handoff over the right side of Blackburn. Not a whole lot there as we continue to go around the NBL. Buffalo pulling out one of the most exciting games we've ever seen. 10-9, folks. 10-9 win over the Carolina Panthers. Panthers sitting there at 1-8. Heath Joyce 16-22, 146, a touchdown and 2 picks. Sonny, they gave him a lot of money to re-sign him, but this Panthers team seems to be going nowhere. They couldn't find a way to score more than 9 points.
And where's Coward? Where's the number 6 overall tight end?
Throw to the right side. Howard all sorts of open, but Lotus recognizing it too late. Now a 3rd and 9 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, needing a conversion here. The New Orleans Saints 20-3 victory over the New England Patriots. Patty Mahomes coming over to New England in the offseason, 8 of 20, 135 and 3 interceptions. I can hear Draco just continuing to chant, he is who we thought he was. He has struggled mightily in New England, a team everybody predicted. We saw Bleacher Report predict this Patriots team to win the NFC East, and they're looking more like a top 10 pick.
Top 10 pick, and not top 5 ownership decisions right now.
We'll get to Cleveland in a second. As on 3rd and 9, Lotus, a bad throw. It's picked off by the Lions, returned up inside the red zone to the 15-yard line. So a huge momentum-changing play, Sonny. Sims with the pick, and Lotus gives it right back. Another bad read. That one was not open, and Detroit ends up coming out on the positive end because they've got a great field position at the 15-yard line.
You thought you had a shot there because it was cover 3, but really he just got cut underneath, and not a good throw there by Lotus.
Yeah, 1st and 10 now for the Detroit Lions, looking to punch it in and extend their lead back to 2 scores. 2:43 to go as Beekman goes in motion from the left side over to the right, putting a bunch formation. 3 on the right, 1 over on the left side. That is HB18. Toss play to Wilson, trying to get the edge. He does! He fights through his own blocker and gets to the end zone. Wilson with another nice run. It looked like Pittsburgh had an opportunity to stop him there, Sonny, but Wilson, too much speed on the outside. It took only 1 play, and they find a way to extend it back to a 2-score lead.
And that turn of events kind of reminiscent of what we saw in Pittsburgh's big turnover on the special teams play. And so now Detroit back in the driver's seat.
And why not run that jet sweep to get the 2-point conversion? A little homage to the Pittsburgh Steelers and I guess the Tennessee Titans. You want that? I'll give that to you. You're welcome.
Giving respect where respect is due. That's my play.
All right, let's finish out going around the NBL, folks. The LA Chargers moved to 8-1. After a horrendous start to the season in that Week 1 game, they've managed to rattle off 8 wins in a row. They win 16-14 over the Baltimore Ravens. Sonny, this Baltimore Ravens team with Andrew Luck at the helm, who went 11-15, 204, and 2 touchdowns. Snead, 5 catches for 113 yards. One of the pleasant surprises in the AFC. It's really jumbled out there, but the Ravens playing some really nice football right now.
Ravens on the come up right now. I feel pretty good about them. Obviously, they've taken over that number 3 spot here in the AFC North from the Cleveland Browns, and so I think they're trending in the right direction.
Kansas City 30-17 over the Washington Redskins. Kansas City moving to 6-3. Strzelczyk continuing to have a nice year. 21-26, 303, 3 touchdowns. So I think James Strzelczyk, not only because he has a confusing name, but I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks. Nobody talks about this guy in Kansas City, and he has them in position for a playoff spot this year.
Well, you can't talk about the guy when you can't pronounce his name, and, that's the curse of having a crazy name.
The Jacksonville Jaguars come from behind victory over the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle was up big in this game. Jacksonville comes back 27-23. Surely not a great game. 9-17, 171, and 2 touchdowns and a pick. But Fournette, 16 carries for 97 yards. And the defense of the Jacksonville Jaguars continued to make big plays and moved them to 7-2. Speaking of the AFC South, as Lotus drops back to pass here on 2nd and 10, throws to the right side. It's complete to Javier Howard. He's having a great game. Fights through a tackle up to the 42-yard line. Sonny, it's around the NBL. We've talked about all the games. The Texans 24-14 over the Titans. Mariota 2 interceptions. Emilio Guerrero riding off that high of the win on NBL Live over the Colts. Goes 24-30, 291, and 3 touchdowns. This Texans team at 5-4, one of the most improved teams in the NBL.
Yeah, good for the Texans.
Nothing else, bud? You don't want to keep. We can keep talking about it. We can. Cleveland Browns 45-21 over the Cincinnati Bengals. As Jameis Winston almost perfect, 12-13 and 2 touchdowns in that game. The Miami Dolphins with a big win, 35-14 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Austin Lester 10-12, 190 and 2 touchdowns. Perkins rushes for 91 yards, and that is what we have done for this week. And that has been around the NBL, folks. You can look for that every week here on NBL Live, bringing you up to date on all the scores from around the NBL. Now 1st and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're down at the 25-yard line. Lowe's got to get rid of the ball. Oh, bad news, Bears. He turned around when he saw Pierce breaking off his blocker, and he's sacked for an 11-yard loss. Going to bring up a 2nd and long.
And you can't be doing that. You've got to score 7 here. 3's not really going to do much for you this late in the game. So moving them back into the long 2nd down is not what they need to be doing.
Yeah, now the Steelers, continue to need to keep up with this Detroit Lions down 14. They need a touchdown. Their defense has played relatively well against the Lions, a couple big stops, but the offense really struggling. The 2 turnovers killing this Pittsburgh Steelers team. 2nd and 21 for the Steelers. Shotgun formation for Lotus. Howard coming in motion with this 3 wide receiver set. Brian alone on the right side as he drops back to pass on 2nd and 21. He's going to find Javier Howard underneath up past the 30-yard line. Looking to continue to fight for the tough yards to the 27-yard line. Didn't see who went down on that play. Sonny, Martavis Bryant's been pretty much absent in this game. Javier Howard, on the other hand, has made some huge plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, ever since that first interception Lotus threw, it was to Bryant, if there was some sort of miscommunication there, and now he's not comfortable. But that's something we got to watch.
Appreciate the bits from Playa in the chat. 3rd and 12, play action pass for the Steelers. Lotus all kinds of time, only a 3-man rush, looks deep over the middle, looking for James, but there's just too much coverage back there, and it is picked off by the Detroit Lions, and he's going to return this up past the 30-yard line to the 31-yard line. That is technically just past. Moran with the pick, and Lotus's 3rd interception on the day. I don't think there's any question if when Ben Roethlisberger comes back, if they're going to stick with Big Ben, or they're going to keep riding the Lotus train.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's in any danger of losing his job, but you do have to start questioning that life after Ben is not looking like a prosperous time here for Pittsburgh.
Now version 10 for Detroit at the 31-yard line. He's got Wilson in the backfield. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Travis Kelce coming over in the offseason. He's on the left side of that formation. Handoff to Wilson. As that's going to be a face mask to give him a free 15 yards on the play. Sean Davis with the face mask. Aggressive is on as Pouncey goes down, but he'll be back into the game. The running game for Detroit has been surprisingly good, especially here in the second half, Sonny. Something we don't say a whole lot from this Lions offense.
That was Pouncey?
Pouncey. What about him?
Oh, wow. I didn't realize. That's an interesting little dynamic there. Pouncey playing defense now.
No, it was the injury on the interception. Somebody went.
Oh, I thought that was the penalty. I'm confused.
No,
How did that happen?
No. Old Mike Pouncey ain't playing defense.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I was wondering why you were so confused. I'm like, yeah, he's a big dude. He has muscle cramps. Things happen, man. I'm like, why are you so confused? I gotcha. I'm back in. As we've hit the fourth quarter, 28-14 your score here. Lions look primed to stay undefeated and move to 9-0 on the season, but there's still a lot of time left as we've got a whole fourth quarter to go. Matt Stafford dropping back here on 2nd and 18. Deep pass over the middle. Shazier just got his hand in there. I don't know if he deflected the ball. Cooper got up acting pumped that it was an incomplete pass. A little confused by that animation.
A little bit. Ryan Shazier is still doing big things here for this team. I really like this kid. He can cover downfield with anybody. If you're Detroit right now, you're just not throwing towards them. Take advantage of the outside.
3rd and 18 for the Lions. Pittsburgh has had trouble getting off the field on 3rd down today as Stafford drops back to pass. 4-man rush from the Steelers. Stafford being chased. Deep pass down the right side. I mean, why not? Montgomery with a big catch. It seems like when HB18's being well covered, Montgomery's finding a way to get open. This wide receiving core for the Lions so tough to cover as Montgomery up over 100 yards on the day.
Anytime you see Matthew Stafford rolling right, you got to know there's a crosser coming from the backside of some sort. You know, that was a post that just kind of got flattened out. But anytime you see that, if he goes right, you better be checking for where that guy from the other side of the field's coming from.
1st and 10 for the Lions as Matt Stafford's going to hand this ball off to Wilson, trying to find some room up the middle. And if he would just stop running into the white jerseys, he would have had a touchdown. 8 carries, 65 yards for Wilson, though. Only a yard on the play. Going to bring up a 2nd and 9.
And running has been hard sledding here for both teams at this point.
There's no danger with the injury to Le'Veon Bell. Pittsburgh's not going to miss the playoffs or anything, and this Steelers team is so good, even in a tough division. Sonny, is there any worry if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, 2 of your main guys with injury. Any worry as you get to the playoffs about those 2, either lingering injuries or just getting back into the rhythm of playing?
Yeah, I'm a little worried for Pittsburgh right now because Lodish doesn't look like he can carry this team, and Le'Veon Bell, Blackmore is not the guy.
2nd and 9 for the Lions. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 1 over to the right side. On 2nd down, Montgomery was showing blitz. He is the guy on Montgomery was showing blitz, and they throw it over to that right side that was vacated. He's wide open. He's just going to walk into the end zone, and he is a touchdown, showboating his way past the pylon as Detroit extends their lead to a 3-score game. And Sonny, I know Pittsburgh's playing depleted, and I do 100% believe if Ben Roethlisberger was here, we'd be looking. It wouldn't be a closer game in terms of lower scoring. It would be 35-35 instead of 35-14. But this Lions team, the level they're playing at right now, is there any reason not to think they're the favorite coming out of the NFC, even with the defending champion Giants out there?
Yeah, the defending champion Giants who beat this Detroit Lions team are out there, and they're playing just as well right now. So, yeah, I'm not going to take the throne away from them until somebody can beat them, and this Detroit team hasn't beaten them in a long time. So,
should set up though if these 2 teams are out there. A barn burner of an NFC Championship game. I know there's a lot of games left before we get there, but Lions and Giants, that matchup, you don't know where those teams are. Those 2 teams could still be sitting there with 1 loss on their record. The Lions could still be undefeated as they hand off to Blackburn over the right side. That spin move moved him the wrong direction. He's going to lose a couple on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 13.
If you want to just run over here to the schedule real quick and roll on down and take a look, they're going to meet Week 14 Lions and Giants, and that's going to be a game to watch because that could be your NFC title game preview.
Hold on, I can do this on the fly. As the pass out to the fly. Aha, look at that. right there. There's the schedule. Little bit on the fly right there. Yeah, that week 14 game right before we go into our flex schedule of doom. Lions and Giants. Not only could be one of the best matchups, just because of the high level both teams are playing at. I'm not convinced as a big sack there on Lotus from Pierce, his first and a half of the day. I'm not convinced, Sonny, as we're going to week 14, that those two teams won't still be undefeated.
Yeah, I'm
pulling up the schedule of the Giants.
Yeah, I think there's a problem with that OSU.
They play the Buccaneers. That's the problem. As Lotus, a deep shot over the middle. Looking for Howard over the top. A little bit of a gamble there on defense, and Howard to the end zone. Pittsburgh with a nice touchdown. Nice throw there by Lotus. Really more bad defense on that play. They do have a matchup week 13 against the Atlanta Falcons, and they're an 8-1. So that's going to be a tough matchup, but with 3 games to play, I still like how this Giants team is playing. I love what the Falcons are doing at 8-1, but the Giants just seem to be playing at a high level right now. I think that they're still going to get there. What is the Lions schedule looking like?
Who do the Giants play next week?
Next week, the Buccaneers?
They're going to lose to the Buccaneers.
Are they?
I will bet you money right now they lose to the Buccaneers.
Okay. All right, Sonny Weaver. You're making the bold claim, recorded here on NBL Live. Why? Why are they going to lose to the Buccaneers?
Well, there was a certain little suspension that has to be paid.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Good call. Good call. First and 10, throw to the flat. It is completed to the right side, up past the first down marker to the 41-yard line. All right, so we'll say one loss in there. Is it one loss fair?
Blemish on the record.
Is that fair? One loss? Let's see what the Lions got. Lions, Steelers this week. Packers, Bears. The Lions also have a tough game week 13. So we look at that one. Lions got to play the Minnesota Vikings, who, if there's one team in the NBL who has had sort of the Lions number consistently, it's been that Vikings team. And it's no different this year. The Vikings are playing fantastic football, and they play the Lions week 13 and week 16. So the Lions still have 2 matchups up left with the Vikings, but Vikings then Giants. A chance the Lions may overlook the Vikings? Is there a chance of that happening with that Giants game on NBL Live coming up?
No, I don't think so. I think that's a game they've got circled at this point.
Second and 13. Oh, that was no bueno from Matt Stafford. 17-22, 308. And again, folks, stick with us to the end of the game. We'll have that NBL Live player of the game for broadcast number 194 here on the NBL Network. But yeah, that schedule looks good. We had some great matchups coming up here on NBL Live, and as always, those last 3 weeks are flexed out. So we will bring you the best playoff matchups. And then we got the playoffs, and that one, we had some great moments last season. We broadcast every game of the playoffs. Not every round, every game is Jawara Forney with the pick. That's how good Jawara Forney is. We haven't seen him a whole lot. I'm not saying there's a whole lot of life here in Pittsburgh, but that was a big interception, a quick touchdown, and Pittsburgh's not out of this ball game.
No, not at all. Starting to get a little nervous, actually, if you're Detroit. You're starting to wonder, oh, no, what's happening here?
Play action pass for Zach Lotish. He looks over to the flat as Jesse James with the catch rolls out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Lotish 15-23, 305. Three interceptions, 1 touchdown. Hasn't had trouble getting the yards, Sonny. Has had trouble keeping it in the hands of the team in black.
And I really don't feel good about that play call there. There were only 3 routes. I need more options.
Blackburn with the carry over the right side, fights through a hole, shakes off a tackler, ends up hurting him as he only gets a yard on the play. He was up near the first down marker. Instead, he'll only get 1 yard, and it's going to bring it to a 3rd and 5.
And now you're looking at a 3rd and 5 here, and you've got Lotish back there. Where is Martavius Bryant? Take a shot. Let's get him over top. Let's see what we can do.
3rd and 5 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the right side, 1 over to the left as Lotish drops back to pass on 3rd down. He looks over to the left side and finds Martavis Bryant at the 25-yard line. A tight throw, and Lotish completes it, and they're going to hurry back to the line. Try to get this comeback rolling here. They're at the 25-yard line. 2:26 to go, 1st and 10. And it's going to be handoff to Blackburn over the right side. The Lions, nice job collapsing on that right side, bringing down for a 2-yard loss. Going to bring up a 2nd and 12.
And again, I don't think you're running at this point. I think you're just throwing. You're down 2 scores. You got to do something here. You needed to score before the 2-minute warning to really make up for that lost timeout.
Yeah, that lost timeout is coming up huge. Look for James on that seam route here on 2nd and 12 as he drops back to pass. Lotus looking, looks over to the left side. He finds Martavis Bryant once again, who gets out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Not quite as important with the 2-minute warning happening, but now 1st and 10, a minute 58 to go. You got to think they got to score quickly here to have a chance because they do only have those 2 timeouts. They can't give up too much time on the clock. Ball's on the 11-yard line. Zach Lotus comes out. He's got 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the right, 1 over to the left side, 1 tight end on the right side of that formation. He drops back to pass, looks over to the left, and Martavis Bryant was the man to go to on that drive, and it's a 1-score ball game, Sonny. The Steelers look dead and buried, but Lotus has 2 straight touchdown passes, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's still a little bit of light left at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, you figure with the 2 timeouts, if they can get a stop, a 3 and out here, you're looking at about a minute 10 left to drive to the field. But they're going to go for an onside kick.
Yeah, 2 timeouts left for the Steelers. They're going for that onside kick. Let's see what happens here. As the kick is away, and it is picked up by the hands team of the Detroit Lions. It's Harvey Beckham out there on the hands team, able to get at the 42-yard line. So now Pittsburgh's going to need to get a stop. They're just outside of field goal range. So that's the danger of going for that onside kick there, though. I know you only have 2 timeouts, but if Detroit is able to only get a couple yards, they can kick a field goal and put this game away.
Yeah, and, well, we've seen some blocked kicks return for touchdowns. That actually may be dangerous. If I'm Detroit, I may even consider punting, even if I go 3 and out here.
2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver. That's Harvey Beckham on the right side. And they're going to flip the play, put both tight ends on the right side of that formation. Harvey Beckham over on the left side. Let's see what the Steelers do defensively against this heavy set. It's going to be hand off to Wilson on the outside. I don't know what that. Well, and then there's a.
Wow.
Okay, well.
And
oh, that one's done.
Good game.
And just chuck that one up to over. If you're going to get a face mask on it, you might as well make it look funny.
Yeah.
I will say the one part where Pittsburgh has struggled is stopping the outside run. They've done a great job of sealing the edges, Detroit has, and getting Wilson on the outside. 1st and 10 for the Lions, little counter play. Shazier, huge hit in the middle. Wilson, nice job hanging on to the ball, and Pittsburgh will use their first timeout, minute 44 to go. The joy of giving up a quick first down like that is they didn't use a whole lot of time.
No. Maybe you're holding out for that blocked field goal here. Maybe you get it.
As you can see, aggressive. Yeah, now aggressive strip ball is on. We'll see if they can force a fumble here. Minute 44 to go. You got to think if they're
aggressive tackle on. Not a big fan of aggressive strip. I don't think
seems
strip
like
works very well.
You get a lot of face masks. You don't get a whole lot of forced fumbles. Aggressive tackle though, nice turn on. But they go with the strip. 2nd and 12 for the for the Detroit Lions. Pittsburgh looking for a big play. Shazier misses a tackle. Burns. There it is.
That's what I said. Don't do it. Strip doesn't work.
It was so unnecessary too. I mean, you just push him out of bounds.
And just snagged it. Look at the replay. Oh, take that.
Just one hand rips the face mask. 1 timeout remaining for Pittsburgh. Detroit Lions have gotten 30 yards on face mask penalties. They're just gonna kneel this bad boy out. Minute 39 to go. I'm pretty sure if my math is correct, Pittsburgh. I guess just to signal that they're not going to do it. So Detroit's going to come out with a victory in this one. 35-28. Detroit got a little, I would say, lazy at the end of the game, Sonny. Not a lot of soft coverage let Pittsburgh back into this game at the end, but I don't know if it was really ever in doubt. Pittsburgh, a little bit of false hope there, needing an onside kick to go their way. Detroit's going to move to 9-0. Pittsburgh's going to drop to 8-1, and the Steelers are really hoping that injury to Le'Veon Bell isn't an extended one.
Yeah, they need that one to not be too long, but I think they're fearing that it's going to be a long one.
While we have a second, we might as well pick the NBL Live player of the game here for broadcast number 194. Sonny, the Lions offense, the star of this game, had some nice interceptions. Richard Sherman with a big pick. And a horrible spin move. But the offense was the story for the Detroit Lions, as it usually is. Both Montgomery and HB18 have a nice game. I would lean towards Montgomery, but if you have another suggestion, who do you think player of the game for number 194?
Maybe Matthew Stafford, who I'm not sure even missed a pass.
He did. He missed a couple. He had 4 incompletions in this game, all late. But Stafford was basically perfect for the whole game. The only knock on Stafford was he did throw a late interception that didn't really hurt them. He tried to throw that pick and right over the middle of the field, and the Steelers decided that they weren't that motivated to do anything with it, as Lowe's threw a pick just afterwards. But Matt Stafford was absolutely fantastic. He'll be your player of the game for Broadcast 194. You can check out all of the player of the games for this, for not only this season, but for all the way back to broadcast number 1 on the NBL Network. That's under our website, 365.maddenbomberleague.com. You can also apply to join the NBL if you are interested in joining the ranks of the NBL. It's under the Join tab, 365.maddenbomberleague.com. This one, as Bill Raftery would say, Sonny, this one is blouses. The Detroit Lions stay undefeated, 35-28. And just to put a bow on this one, Sonny, it's sort of what we expected. The Pittsburgh Steelers struggled with Zach Lodish, and the injury to Le'Veon Bell certainly didn't help. Would be interesting to see what this game would have been had Le'Veon Bell not gone down early.
Yeah, for sure. It would have been nice to know, but we'll never know. All we know now is Pittsburgh's got a lot to go back and think about.
Lodish finished 18 of 26, 354, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Stafford, 17 of 23, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in this game. Throw up that NBL live schedule. We are off this weekend, but we'll be back for Week 12. Vikings and Seahawks. Sonny, this game looked like a much bigger deal when it was put on the schedule in Week 12. The Seahawks, though, have taken a major step back, but if they can string a couple wins together, they're not out of the realm of winning that division in the NFC West, and they have a huge matchup against the Vikings.
Yeah, stick a fork in the Seahawks. They're done. Maybe a flex that week. I'm going to look up real quick and see what we can do here. What week was that?
That's Week 12.
Week 12.
By the way, shout out to Daddy Leagues. Gotta give a big shout out to Daddy Leagues.
Gotta love them.
If you have a league and you're not using Daddy Leagues, what are you doing? Because they are great.
Not a great week. Not a great week.
No, not a lot of great matchups. Steelers Browns that week. Could watch Titans Colts. Could be a battle of two teams not making the playoffs. Got him right there.
Whoa there.
Got him.
Whoa.
Nah, there's not really anything.
Hey, maybe we could go with the 3-6 Raiders and the 5-4 Ravens.
Hey, we won't be 3.
That's fine.
We won't be 3-6 at that time. We'll be 3-8. Thank you very much. Anywho, we'll look at that one Week 12 though, but no game this weekend, so enjoy your weekend. And we hope you enjoyed this battle between 2 undefeated teams. A huge win for the Lions. For my co-host Sonny Weaver, I'm OSU. Once again, your final score: the Detroit Lions coming out on top, 35-28. We'll see you for Week 12, Vikings and Seahawks, possibly here on NBL Live.